the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 In the name of love, we come together.
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 In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 In the name of love, we come together.
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 In the name of love, from every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. And feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together.
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 In the name of love, we come together.
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 In the name of love, we come together.
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 In the name of love.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. I'm Reverend Russ Laguerre, your assistant minister, and can we share some more love with our fabulous band this morning? And welcome to our live stream viewers, wherever you're watching us from. We are so grateful that you are here with us. If you have any questions about what's going on at our center, and there's a lot going on, take a look at our website, CSLSR.org. What's that website? Yes, you got it, because on that website, we have our monthly bulletin that has everything that's going on here at our center, and we update that regularly. So if there's something new, we'll add it on there. It's a great resource to find out how you can get plugged into our classes, our workshops, our events. We've got a lot going on, so please use that as a resource. We also have a thriving youth and family program for your newborns and toddlers and elementary and middle schoolers and teenagers. And speaking of our teenagers, they are back from their week-long excursion to teen camp in Oregon. And I hear that it was an incredible experience. I'm looking at Lily right now. It was incredible. Yes? Yes. Lily was one of our teen advisors. So for all of those who helped to financially support our teens so that they could go to teen camp, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I know they are so grateful. They had such a wonderful experience. And you'll hear more about that from Jennifer Caldwell in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned. Spiritual education is also one of the pillars of our center, and I invite you to pick up our education catalog at the info desk so that you can find out what classes, what workshops, and book studies are coming up, and we've got a lot coming up in the next 6 months. We also offer scholarships for many of our classes, and if you are interested in that, you can come and you can talk to me after service. I'm happy to give you all the details on that. Now, I invite you to join me in speaking aloud our vision and our mission statement together. The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. And part of this global vision states, we envision a world which has renewed its emphasis on beauty, nature, and love through the resurgence of creativity, art, and aesthetics. And we follow this vision through the 5 core spiritual practices of our teaching, and would you please read those with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, spiritual circulation. We'd now like to take this moment to extend a very warm welcome to our first-time visitors. First-time visitors, would you please stand as you are able or raise your hand, and we would love to bring you a flower and a welcome packet as a token of our gratitude for you being here today. And live streamers, if you are watching online for the first time, please let us know in the chat. We're so grateful to have you. Now, I know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, the prayer, our practices, and Dr. Edward's message today is exactly what you need for the next step of your spiritual unfoldment. Please know you are so very welcome here. Now, sit back and enjoy some music before our short time of silent contemplation and prayer.
One, everywhere, always, including everything known and unknown, seen and unseen. Everywhere present is this essence, this divine intelligence inflowing into all thought, activity, life, birth. It's in each step, each laugh, each tear. It's unavoidable. It is who we are. And I absolutely know it's in me and each one here and beyond. It's in every cell, every organ, every smile. And I bless this time today, opening our hearts to the sweet vulnerability that is imperfection, to the sharing of the real self, good and bad and in between. And it is love that carries and changes this beautiful thing called imperfection. Made human as we were, we lean into the elevated consciousness that allows us to forgive and grow and learn and be more, and to enjoy and to feel the blessings of life itself. I am well pleased to know the truth of this. And with that, I just release this word into the law of mind, knowing it is done as it is believed. And together we say, and so it is. Good morning. I am Tamira Hume, a prayer practitioner here at our wonderful center, and I invite you to read the affirmation with me. I embrace imperfection and discover profound possibilities.
Every once in a while I start losing my smile, and I say to myself, what's the deal? What exactly is the point? Getting all out of joint, not liking the way that I feel. Maybe I believe that it's all up to me at the helm of this boat all alone, till some stormy detail takes the wind from my sail to remind me what I've always known. Oh, relax and let the river flow. Let your life teach you what you need to know. Let your life lead you where you need to go. Let your life teach you what you need to know. Let your life lead you where you need to go. If you're swimming upstream, chasing a dream, make sure that it comes from the heart. If you're fighting the tide for glory and fame, you might just be working too hard. Are you winning the race? Are you swimming in place and still falling further behind? There's a current below, oh, that knows where to go, might carry you to peace of mind. Oh, relax and let the river flow. Let your life lead you where you need to go. Let your life lead you where you need to go. Let your life teach you what you need to know. Let your life lead you where you need to go. Oh, relax and let the river flow. Let your life teach you what you need to know. Let your life lead you where you need to go. Let your life lead you what you need to know. Let your life lead you where you need to go. teach you what you need to know. Let your life lead you where you need to go. Let your life teach you what you need to know. Let your life lead you where you need to go. Let your life lead you where you need to go.
Oh, good morning. Oh, my goodness. It would have been easier for me if they made some mistakes, because the topic this morning is leaning into imperfection, but there's just so much excellence there in the music. Oh, goodness. So I guess thank you. Today's topic is lean into imperfection, which is not something that comes easily to me. Does anyone here struggle with perfectionism at all? I want to make sure I'm talking with my people today. I studied French in high school, and I loved it. Oh, it just fit me. I enjoyed learning about it, and I did all kinds of self-selected study on my own. I read books and practiced. You could find me on the bus going home after school with a French book in one hand and a dictionary in the other, and writing in the definition of every single word so that I knew what it meant. And then when I got home, I would turn on the radio. We didn't have television, and listen to the BBC. And there's this teenager, I'm sitting there and pretending to be an interpreter for the BBC. And of course, I would just make up words that I hadn't learned yet. I had such a good time. And I think I got fairly good at it in my own head. But I would not speak a single word of French to anybody who spoke French, because I wasn't perfect. And I knew I had to be perfect, or the world would end. Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh dear, years later as an adult, it was still with me. I was on a tour in France, and one of the travelers in the group lost their credit card. And we were in a small town where hardly anybody spoke English at all, and it was quite difficult explaining what was happening. And I just stood there, watching, listening, not saying a word. I couldn't take it any longer, and finally I opened my mouth and I did my best to explain imperfectly what was going on. And it was resolved, and the traveler who had lost their card finally looked at me dismayed and said, "You've got to be kidding. All this time, you stood there and you could have helped. You said nothing." Now, this incident illustrates the three main points I'd like to make today. Perfectionism can prevent us from engaging fully in life and also contributing to others. The second is that when we redefine what perfection means, it's possible to set ourselves free so that we can lean into life and contribute to other people. And the third point is we're in a spiritual community, and that is possibly the best place to practice overcoming perfectionism, especially if we don't let our commitment to perfection prevent us from connecting with each other and showing ourselves to each other. So back to the question, what stopped me in that scene in the little town in France, and where does that all come from? Many of you have already told me the answer of what stops you, stops me, stops you. It's perfectionism, which is defined as the belief that we should be flawless, which kind of argues with the belief that we are not flawless. Now, these ideas for some come from society, societal pressure, and sometimes it comes from religious teachings. For example, there's a biblical teaching that states, you may be familiar with this if you were exposed to the New Testament. It goes like this: "Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect." Which is a very stressful and overwhelming standard to live by, especially for a young person like I was when I first heard that. And it's kind of confusing when you pair it with other teachings, for example, that you're born in sin. Or the teaching from 1 John that says, look, if you think you have no sin, you're just fooling yourself. So I was quite confused as I was growing up. And so I was trying to work it out, and I thought perfect meant don't make any mistakes. Fit in and do everything correctly and be as good as possible like God. So at some point I stopped being willing to make any mistakes. I just stopped. Years later, as an adult, I heard a rabbi on television who studies biblical Aramaic, and he was explaining that very verse, "Be ye perfect." And he said that the Aramaic word in that sentence, perfect, is something like Tamil, and it means whole or complete, or something like innocent or blameless. It doesn't mean flawless. It kind of means all included. And that helped me immensely. It helped me to shift my focus away from trying to be flawless and to focus instead on accepting my whole self and imagining what might it be like? What might it feel like if I could embrace everything about me, the faults and the flaws and the wounds and the good and the dreams and the talents, all of it. And all of it with an attitude of allowing and acceptance and watching and forgiveness. I began to imagine what I might be like, free from the tyranny of flawlessness. Now, the shift took time, and it needed a lot of self-compassion, because there was a lot in me that was not flawless. And so every little move I made away from the stress of trying to be flawless brought immense relief. And it also allowed me to be, more compassionate with other people who, made mistakes like I did. In a way, I lowered my standards and raised my inner peace. And it helped me, this journey, to recognize that wholeness and completeness was present in me, even when things around me were chaotic, incomplete, confusing, imperfect. So I think I've been, maybe with you also, on a lifelong journey of dismantling my idea that I inherited about perfection, and it's still in progress. This afternoon we have a workshop, The Beauty of Imperfection, where we'll carry on poking holes into the relentless doctrine of perfectionism. We'll measure it against reality to discover how mistakes and being wrong and imperfection are actually quite good, and that have led to some of life's most dramatic and beneficial developments. And I mention this because there's a side story. I was preparing the workbook for the workshop, and I wanted to put a bullet list, and then I thought I'm going to change it to a numbered list. But the application glitched, and it wouldn't put the numbers in order. It kept on skipping from 8 to 10. And I spent an extraordinary amount of time trying to get that right and fix it up until I realized the irony of struggling with making a perfect workbook for a workshop on imperfection. So I left it just as it is. But it's walking around with me like a hot coal in my pocket. Because I know there are other people out there just like me who will see it. Raise your hand if you're one of those. Aren't we delightful? An author, Thomas Curran, he wrote a book called The Perfection Trap. And for his book, he did some research on perfectionism and its impact on people. And he found that perfectionism does not always lead to success or peace of mind like we tell ourselves. Rather, it may lead to burnout and self-sabotage, because perfectionists tend to work harder than they need to. And sometimes they withdraw entirely from activities in life because they are protecting themselves from the idea that they might fail. Like I did by not being willing to speak any kind of French. So here are some great questions that I'm considering. Maybe you want to as well. Where has my understanding of perfection caused me to withdraw from life's activities? Number 2, what am I missing out on in life while I am waiting to be flawless? Number 3, where am I holding life and other people to an unrealistically high standard of flawlessness? Whew, some of you breathed in over there. I was thinking about my journey to the Center for Spiritual Living. I came to the Center for Spiritual Living because I was searching for my perfection, for my wholeness. I came to the Center for Spiritual Living not because I thought I was flawless, but because I was all broken up. I didn't come because I had all the answers and it all figured it out. I came because I didn't know how to live my life. And thankfully, the community of the first center I came to didn't reject me saying, oh, wait a minute, you are not perfect. Come back when you're all fixed up. They said, welcome. They didn't say to me, oh, no, you don't fit in because you're all a mess inside. You're thinking, get that figured out. They said, welcome. And then I had to learn to do the same thing for myself. I had to learn to welcome myself in life. I had to learn how to change the way I talked to myself. For example, when I made a mistake. Or when I had ideas of perfectionism stop me. I had to learn to get over it and to be kinder to myself. And I also then had to learn to welcome other people just as I had been welcomed. But I was reflecting on that journey. In the beginning, I struggled to connect with other people. I did. And you know, I said it was my shyness that prevented me from connecting. Because I am somewhat of an introvert. But what was really stopping me from connecting with other people wasn't my shyness alone. it was also my perfectionism. Would I say the right thing? Oh, I'll be awkward, I'll look stupid. What will people think? It's better to shut up and let other people speak first. This morning when I put the shirt on, I felt there was something in the pocket over here. It's a quote by Abraham Lincoln. Better keep your mouth shut and be thought a fool than to open it and remove all doubt. Isn't that perfect? And because I didn't connect with people, I gave the impression that I didn't need them, or that I didn't care about connecting, or that I was above connecting, or that I was cold or distant. When I yearned for it. I was at a conference many years ago as a brand new minister, and I was standing at the back of the hall, aloof, right next to a very well-known celebrity of religious science, Dr. Margaret Stortz. And she stood next to me and she caught my eye and she said, "What are you doing here at the back of the hall? Why aren't you connecting with your colleagues?" And I said, "Dr. Margaret, I don't like small talk." And she said, "Edward, what do you think we're doing right now? Get over yourself and go talk to people." And because I had such respect for her, I took a breath in and I leaned into my fear of imperfection and I just let myself feel all of that awkwardness, and I stepped into the crowd and I started opening my mouth and speaking awkwardly and imperfectly, and I learned something that day. I learned, number one, I had to give myself permission to get it wrong. Nobody else was going to give me that permission. And number two, I discovered something amazing. Imperfection is survivable. Who knew? And I discovered that an imperfect attempt is better than none at all. Or as Marilyn Monroe said, imperfection is beauty. Madness is genius. And it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. That author, Thomas Curran, he suggests several ideas that can help us lean into our imperfection. Number one, recognize that we are imperfect beings. That's how it is. Understand that we are exhaustible creatures. That's how it is. Accept that we will have setbacks and we will be vulnerable at times in life. That's how it is. Acknowledge that things will happen that are out of our control. That's how it is. And know that failing is part of how life evolves, and that's how it is. And so the instruction to us is to participate, lean into life with the awareness that, well, things don't always go as planned, and that's how it is. And then we can apply what we learn at the Center for Spiritual Living. We can add our affirmations to our realizations. We can still adopt an optimistic, affirmative mindset by saying, as we're taught, saying to ourselves things like this: there is that within me which is perfect. It's the living Spirit. There is that within me which is the source of infinite energy, the living Spirit. There is that within me which is centered and calm and connected to the living Spirit. There is that within me that watches silently, attentively, that is a source of inner comfort and endless creativity, the living Spirit. And every day, I'm learning to be aware of it within me and living from it. Now, these sentences are what we call affirmations, and they're short, powerful, affirmative statements that can help a person stay on track as we navigate this world. Now, for affirmations to work, however, they must make sense to us, to both our mind and our hearts. It's of no use to me if I affirm I am perfect, when in my heart I believe I am broken. It's no use for me to affirm something when my experience of it is exactly the opposite. For affirmations to be powerful, they have to strike a chord of acceptance and reality in us. They have to make us say a yes. So they need to be created with care and wisdom. And fortunately, we have a built-in lie detector in us. We know when we are saying something that we don't believe, that we can't accept. And this is the good news that gives us something we can work with. On Tuesday evenings, I'm beginning a 3-week class, a short 3-week class, both on Zoom and in person, in which we examine the architecture of affirmations and ask the question, why don't they work? And so we'll listen to contemporary psychologists who unpack it and explain why sometimes the mind rejects them. That explain to us what to avoid, how to reframe, so that our affirmations can indeed resonate both with our minds and our hearts, so that the act of accepting them feels like a breath of fresh air, one that we are willing to let these words influence us. Today I talked about how perfectionism can prevent us from engaging fully in life and contributing to others. So there's our work. First, become aware. Is that happening in me? Second point was how redefining what perfection means can set us free from the tyranny of a too strict definition. So I invite you to keep Marilyn Monroe's statement in mind. Perfection is beauty. And then finally, you're in a spiritual community, which can be a perfect place for us to practice overcoming our perfectionism, especially if we have self-compassion and compassion for others, and we watch attentively that our inner dialogues are nurturing and kind-hearted and make generous assumptions about ourselves, our motives, and other people. So I invite you to take a breath in with me. And exhale into a moment of spiritual practice. There is that within me which is perfect. It is the living Spirit Almighty. There is that within me which is the source of infinite energy, the living Spirit Almighty. There is that within me which is centered, the living Spirit. There is that within me which is calm and connected, the living Spirit. There is that within me which watches silently, the living Spirit. There is that within me which is the source of inner comfort and endless creativity, the living Spirit. Every day, in every moment, I'm opening my mind and opening my heart to be more aware of this seat of compassion within me. I tune into it with every thought. I harmonize with it with every action. I let it fill me with its radiant warmth and clarity of thought. As I navigate this world, I feel my definitions softening and my acceptance increasing. I am allowing myself to move in the river of life with allowance and joy. In this opening, then, I perceive the dance of all life to be one of such splendor, and in it there is room for everything, faults and flaws, wounds and ideas, inspiration and aspiration, disappointments and burdens. I let everything be exactly as it is as I keep myself firmly and strongly and deeply rooted in the living Spirit within. I'm grateful for this awareness. It changes me. I'm grateful for this awareness. It sets me on the path of the right use of my life. I'm grateful for this awareness. It helps me to shake loose burdens and restrictions that have prevented me from engaging in life. I'm grateful for this awareness. I relax into it, and it within me continues to be a calm presence. I'm grateful for this awareness and for everything that comes from it. I'm grateful for this awareness in myself and how it causes me to engage with and interact with others. I realize that this living Spirit within is nothing that I generate or make or produce. It exists. It is there. It and its laws, its spiritual laws, are permanent, and I gladly accept their working in me. And so I release this word of prayer with a sense of ease and peace. I release this word of prayer with a sense of acceptance and willingness. I release this word of prayer with a mind that is curious and available to next steps. I release this word of prayer by saying, with you, and so it is. And I invite you to take a deep breath and sigh as we make the transition to the next part of our service, where we put into motion the practice of one of the 5 pillars of a spiritual life that we read earlier this morning, that of spiritual circulation. Spiritual circulation includes appreciation, acceptance, validating, gratitude, forgiveness, being in the present moment, giving and receiving, all of the things in life that cause us to be in the flow. I invite you to think of how the center has been there for you, how you have received inspiration, maybe from a kind word from somebody in the congregation, maybe from a connection from somebody who's risked being imperfect and saying hello to you in a way that was maybe hard for them to do, or maybe with some of the beautiful music or one of the education programs. I invite you to think also how you are part of the circulation, just being here, being in the community. Maybe you reached out and said hello to someone when it was awkward to do so and made a connection. And how you are part of the giving and receiving of the health, the spiritual health of this community. I invite you to realize with me that no matter how successful you may have judged yourself to be or not be, that every moment is a new opportunity to start again, to start fresh, and to plant a seed of circulation. We also practice giving financially to our center so that we may continue to be a beacon of light and hope for future generations to come. We have on our website ways that you can participate if you are new to contributing. And of course, our text to give system is available to you. Ushers, please stand to receive the gift, and as you prepare your gift, won't you place your hand on your chest as a symbol of your heart connection to your center for spiritual living, and say after me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It does amazing work in the world, and so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
I've seen my share of struggle when I thought that I knew best, when I sailed through a storm instead of stopping to rest. And it always seemed the hardest when I made up my stubborn mind. Well, I'm changing my ways this time. wanna be like water coming down the mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, but uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Have you ever seen an eagle head straight into the wind? He doesn't pick a fight, spreads his wings and just begins. And in the end he always makes it home just fine. I guess he knows that every storm subsides. Wanna be like water coming down the mountain into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, but uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. I let nature take its course. No more thinking that I know where this river's meant to go. I have railed against the stars for the cards that I've been dealt, for the lottery I've never won, for the heartache that I felt. But it always seems when I let go of expectation and regret, life has plenty of surprises for me yet. Wanna be like water coming down the mountains into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, but uphill no more. I am bound for the sea. Wanna be like water coming down the mountains into shadowy canyons, flowing from pool to stream. Wanna be like water, but uphill no more. I am bound for the sea.
Thank you so much for all the gifts that you share with us. We are so grateful. Now, I have a very important question for you. Who here knows that we have a Wednesday evening service? Now you do. I hope to see you there, and the reason is because I know during my week I often need a spiritual pick-me-up. It's great to be here on Sunday, but there's a whole extra 6 days between that Sunday and the next one. So having something in the middle of the week is very helpful. And what we do in our Wednesday evening service is we focus on a spiritual topic, a spiritual practice, almost like it's a little mini class. And because it's a smaller format, we actually meet right out there in the social hall. There's an opportunity for question, for answer, to spend some time with your spiritual family. So I hope to see you there. Myself and Reverend Sciotta have been loving getting to share that with you, and we would love to see our Wednesday evening service grow and have more people to add to the conversation. So if you have any questions about it, you can ask me after service, and we meet in the social hall at 7 p.m. at the center every week. So we hope to see you there. Now, sharing our bounty is back. And you can bring your flowers, your fresh produce, your baked goods, and all kinds of goodies that you'd like to share with our community on Sunday, July 28th from 10 until 11 a.m. That's between our 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. services. And you can also bring a bag with you and take whatever you like because everything is free. You don't need to bring anything to take advantage of all of the gifts and the wonderful things that our community is sharing. So join us in a couple of weeks for that. It's going to be a wonderful time. I'm really looking forward to seeing what produce that we have there, especially because it always seems like whatever is most in season, we'll have a giant pile of it to take home. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So we heard from Dr. Edward today about how we can lean into imperfection, and as he mentioned, he has a workshop that'll be right here in the sanctuary at 1 p.m. today. If you haven't signed up for it already, you can do that at our kiosk out in the social hall. Also, we'll be taking sign-ups right before the workshop starts. So we'll hope that you take advantage of that. It's going to be a really wonderful time, really diving into all of the imperfections and maybe looking for what typos are in that workbook. Also, as Dr. Edward mentioned, his affirmation class is also starting on Tuesday, and you can also sign up for that on our website. We have another workshop because we know that one workshop on imperfection probably is not enough. So Reverend Tara is offering a workshop called Wholeheartedly Me on Sunday, July 28th at 1 p.m. And it's going to be a play-filled inquiry into being all that we are with nothing to fix, nothing to hide, perfectly imperfect. So you can find out about that on our website as well. We've also begun collecting backpacks and school supplies for the upcoming school year. And if you have something that you'd like to purchase or donate to help the children of Santa Rosa, you can leave those over at our information desk on Sundays. We'll be collecting those up until, I believe, school starts. So I'm really glad that we have that opportunity. And it's July, so that means that we've got another Spirit Walk coming up. And this month, we're going to have a special walk at Sugarloaf Ridge State Park on the Meadow Trail. It's one of my favorite trails there, and it's a beautiful, easy trail that's filled with hills and tall grasses and lovely creeks. And you can RSVP for that on our website beginning tomorrow. And we're going to be walking on Saturday, July 27th at 9 a.m. We're meeting a little bit earlier so that we can try and beat the heat since it's been a little bit warmer out. And we will be meeting at the White Barn parking lot, which is the parking lot just before the hill that goes up to the observatory. So I know that's going to be a wonderful walk. I hope to see you there. Have you gone to see the CSL Sluggers play yet? Well, if you haven't, you still have time because they've got many games that are coming up. They're playing through August, and you can find that schedule at our info desk and on our website. All right, finally, I am getting ordained this Sunday, July 21st at 1 p.m. So I've fallen in love with our community. And I recognize how each and every one of you has been a vital part of my growth as a minister. And this has been such a wonderful journey. So I wanted to say thank you. And I'd be honored if you joined me at this ceremony. So if you would like to share finger foods as well for the reception afterwards, please let us know. We have a form at the information desk and on our website. But I really enjoy being here, and I look forward to seeing you. So it's going to be a wonderful time. Now, I'd like to share our nonprofit partner for the month, which is the 4 C's of Sonoma County. And their mission is to provide access to quality childcare and early education in Sonoma County through advocacy, direct service, and empowerment. And they've prepared a video for us today. And they have members of their leadership are right out there in the social hall. Go up and say hello to them, thank them for their good work. And that's all that we have this week. Please enjoy their video.
Four C's was founded by a group of women advocates who realized that our community had a critical need for a child care resource center to assist families with coordination and access to child care, early learning services, particularly while families were at work, going to school, and in the after-school hours.
The parent is the person who is the first person, and they love their child, and they want to do the best they can. This is a family center, and the families are welcome here, and the partnership between families and the providers of childcare is an immensely important relationship.
I had my first connection with Forces in 1986 while I was still a farm worker in Hillsborough, California. All of my 5 children went to the programs of Forces. I got divorced, so I was a single mom. So it was really helpful for them to provide me with childcare.
Forces just touches so many families. We are a resource to the community. We are educating our children, and I think we hold at the core that the parents are the child's first teacher. We have this moment in time with that family, whether it's just a one touch or whether we have them for a year or 2 in the preschool program. But it's that opportunity to partner with them, to help them along their way, to give them the tools to be successful in their life.
We are gearing up to begin receiving your nominations for nonprofit partners for 2025. We're not quite ready yet, but I thought I'd let you know to start thinking about organizations that we could support next year that have a symmetry with our values, especially if those organizations have a strong possibility for volunteer engagement. That's what we're looking at next year. So pay attention, that's going to come out plenty soon, so you can nominate an organization that's close to your heart. Now, if there's something that is incomplete in you, or if you cried yourself to sleep last night, please don't go home without getting some support. Just go to the back of the auditorium where Dr. Karen will connect you with a prayer partner right here in the sanctuary, and they will listen to your request and create a custom affirmative prayer specifically for you. And if you're watching online, you can go to our website and you'll discover that we have after-service prayer using Zoom with private rooms for each person where you will be matched privately with a prayer practitioner, and they will do the same thing online as that which happens here in the auditorium. With that in mind, won't you please stand saying, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is a thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it, just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you soon, and let us close in song.
All together, hand in hand, we see the light, we take a stand, and we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free, and share this blessing. Love be with you,
Love be with you.
peace enfold you,
Peace enfold you.
spirit lift you,
Spirit lift you.
breathe it in,
Breathe it in.
truth come through you,
Truth come through
may
you.
good flow to you,
Good flow to
let
you.
joy renew you,
Joy renew
till
you.
we meet again. Love be